Welcome, everyone. This is our biology orientation for transfer students. We're going to let everybody into the room and then we'll get going shortly. Okay, I see people coming into the room. Thank you. So welcome. Just give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get going. Okay, it looks like the numbers are kind of leveling off. And so, Brianna, could you take us to the first slide?
Of course.
So I just want to do some introductions here before we launch. And I am Laura Burris, and I'm the professor and chair of biology. I use she and they pronouns. And I'm just delighted to see you all. It's exciting and also a little stressful that we're kind of returning to campus, but we're always excited to start a fall semester. You know, as faculty and administrators and staff at universities, we kind of live for our students, and so it's really just a delight to welcome you onto our campus, whether it be virtual or real. And so I see that Vance hasn't signed on yet, but we'll introduce him as he does. So I'm going to turn it over to Megumi to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Megumi Fose. I'm a professor in biology. I teach in the physiology emphasis, and I'm also the director of the Student Enrichment Opportunities Office, which I'll tell you more about later.
And I'm Brianna. I am the undergraduate coordinator. So you've probably gotten emails from me before. I am biology at SFSU.edu. So yeah, that's probably how you got invited to this orientation today. So happy to see some people coming in and joining us today.
Yeah, and you've already passed the first test, such it is, because you must have been checking your SFSU emails to find out about this. So that's something we want to encourage you to keep doing as we go forward. So can I have the next slide, please? Before we get going, I want to just do a little kind of temperature poll to see how everybody's doing. People have been in such radically different places for the last year and a half, and I just want to see how you're feeling about the start of school so we can kind of see where people are at. Okay, looks like everybody. So I'm going to end the poll and share the results. So it's interesting. I didn't know how the transfer students, you guys, would compare to the first-time freshmen, but it's really pretty similar. So there's a few jitters, and we hope that we can put some of you at ease during this webinar to answer some of your questions. And just so it's normal to have some jitters. Even we have jitters every time we come back because it's new and it's different, and especially this year it's new. And so that's just really normal. Very anxious. We hope to answer some of your questions too, and maybe at least get you down to jitters. And stoked and pretty chill, awesome. Then you can spread some of that easygoing attitude towards everybody else. So thanks for that. I have one more poll that I'd like to run by you just to get a sense of where you're at. And so let's see here. Oops, I just closed it. I'll open it back up. So can you go to the next slide, Brianna? Or I guess you're already there. I'm looking at the wrong screen, of course. I'm going to go to the next poll. And our question is, are you planning, excuse me, to attend any classes in person this fall? And so yes, no, or I'm not quite sure yet. Still working on my course schedule. Okay, that's everybody. So I'll share that out. So yeah, we've got 71% of you are attending at least one class on campus, about 21% not, and then a few of you aren't sure. And that's terrific. And so whether you're going to be on campus or, excuse me, or not, we're really looking forward to welcoming you back. So, or welcoming you for the first time, not back. All right. So this part, I think would have been advanced, but I'll just take over. And so what will you find when you come onto campus? It's going to be, I don't know how many of you have been on campus before, maybe some of you have, but this is a picture of Hensel Hall, which is the building that houses pretty much all of the biology departments. And so if you're going to be on campus, then the things to know are that the place to enter the building is not up here. This is the third floor up here, and the third floor is also, I guess you can't see my cursor, maybe Veronica can point. The third floor is also at the same level as 19th Avenue. But down below the bush that looks like a caterpillar is the second floor entrance. And that's where you'll want to enter, and that's where the helpers are going to be, and the vaccine checkers and all of that sort of thing. And so then most of your biology classes will be in this building. Some of your other science classes like chemistry and math will probably be in the building that sits kitty corner to this called Thornton Hall. You'll notice that next to Hensel Hall, there's an enormous amount of construction. The science building is mostly being torn down. And so there's just a lot of action there because they're building a new science building, which is very exciting. In Hensel Hall, for those of you who will be on campus, the biology office, which is open Monday through Thursday, I believe, is on the 5th floor, and there'll be a big sign in the hallway saying biology office. So that's a place you can come with any questions. Brianna or Giovanna or G will be in the office on different days. And so that's the first place to go for questions. When you come to campus, and I'll say that even if you're online, that Brianna is the first place to come with questions. So biology at sfsu.edu. So either virtually or in person, she's your gal. If you're in person, there's going to be a lot going on with vaccinations. And so we can talk about that a little bit more in the Q&A, but everybody needs to be vaccinated. You need to upload your proof of vaccination. But in addition to that, you'll need to do a wellness check every day when you come to campus. There's an app that you can get, an SF State app, so it's on your phone. It'll take you 30 seconds or less just to do the wellness check every day. We urge you not to come to campus if you're sick. Don't do it. It's too risky. We don't need to do that. Instructors don't want you there. Nobody will want you there. We want you to be safe, and everything, all the recordings and everything will be available on iLearn, which is our kind of classroom management system. So you won't miss anything, aside maybe from interacting with your peers. So Brianna or Megumi, do you have anything to add about kind of coming back to campus?
Not yet.
What it's like for those who are going to be in person?
I think faculty are as stoked as the students and as jittery.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to just some, I guess, general information about biology here. If you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A. Hopefully, once we go through this, a lot of your questions will be answered, but if not, we'll get to them at the end because a lot of people will probably have some of the same questions. And also, if we have a small group here today, so if you want to ask your question live, raise your hand at the end and we can call on people as well. But we'll start off with biology majors. So we have one Bachelor of Arts degree, which are general biology, and then the rest are Bachelor of Science. So we have lots of concentrations, and they've recently changed. So the change does apply to you. I'll go over it a little bit in the next slide, but you don't have to do anything. Everything has already been updated for you. So our old BS concentrations versus the new. So technically the old, which is supposed to be for academic year 2020 to 2021, which is last academic year. This academic year for you guys that are coming in, when you were first accepted, you probably saw that the requirements were still these technically old requirements. And the new requirements came in, I believe, this summer. So they should have been automatically applied to your student account. Please check your student center, your degree progress report in your student center. That's where you'll be able to see all of your requirements for the degree. It's a really good way to keep track of everything anyways, but you can see the unit requirements as well. So for the general biology degree, it's the same, stay the same. The ones that have shifted are the BS concentrations. So cell and molecular biology, the units have changed slightly. So now 60 units are required instead of 68. For physiology, similar, 59 units are required now instead of the 67. And microbiology as well, 60 units as required to the 68 before. A big shift is we have the majors botany, ecology, zoology. So those are staying for now for this semester. So if you're coming in under those, you can keep those majors. They are going to have a name change though. So it's going to be the same unit requirements and the same requirements, but it's going to be replaced by the name Ecology, Evolution, and Conservation Biology, so EECB. So that is a shift. So if you came in as, say, a zoology major, don't worry about it, you can stay a zoology major. Eventually, when the name changes, you can request to change it to the EECB name, but it won't change your requirements or anything. So
I just want to take a second to welcome Vance to our meeting. So Vance, do you want to introduce yourself real quick? You're on mute.
There we go. Hi, everyone. Bienvenidos todos. I'm Vance Friedenberg. I'm Associate Chair of Biology and Professor of Biology. And I'm really happy to be here, and just wanted to say that it's going to be an exciting semester. We're so excited to have some semblance of being back on campus. So it's going to be great. So for those of you who can't make it to campus, we're still here as well. So we're really, really excited. So thanks so much for being here, and I'm happy to answer questions when we get to that section.
Awesome. Thank you, Vance. So getting back to our change of major, I apologize if I have background noise too. Believe it or not, my neighbor is an opera singer. So you might hear her in the background. Anyway, so changing to a different major, you can change to a different major within biology. So say you want to go from physiology to cell and molecular biology, you can totally do that. You would just change it through this link. It has instructions. It's all done through your student center. And then you would see an advisor to help you go through the requirements of the major that you want to switch over to, and they can approve it for you. And don't worry about copying down anything here. I will send out the slides to you so you have all the links, because there's going to be a lot of them in this slideshow here. But same thing. So with the new major name, the EECB, I don't think it's quite ready, because I don't think the name has been quite accepted yet. So I don't think you can change to that name yet. But if you want to, say you want to change your botany major title to the EECB, you can do that, and you will do it through this process as well. But I don't think it's quite available yet.
I think it was approved, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so you might be able to. So if you want to, go ahead and try it out. If it works, let me know too, because I would like to know. Okay, so we have other programs that you might want to look into. One of them is our PINK program, which is Promoting Inclusivity in Computing. And then we also have a new certificate, which is the Climate Change Certificate. It's 12 to 18 units. And you can find all the information there at that link There's a survey that you can fill out to show your interest, and then you'll get more information along the way. So how to find your online classes. Check your SFSU email. This is important for everything. Check your SFSU email. If you haven't already, I recommend linking it to your personal email. That's what I did as a student. It really keeps you on top of everything. Also, we send out a lot of stuff like through our biology to your SFSU email. If you haven't gotten anything recently from biology, please let me know. Email me at biology and I'll add you onto our listserv if you're not already on it. But for your online classes, check your iLearn page for information specifically about your courses. That's where instructors, professors will upload all of your class information, like your syllabus and course materials. Also email your instructor. So if your class is starting on Tuesday and Monday rolls around and nothing is up there yet, you might want to email your instructor. I think they have until the day of the first day of instruction to upload things to iLearn, but feel free to email your instructor if you still don't see anything. How to crash a class. This is important. I've gotten a lot of email from incoming students. So crashing a class is basically trying to get into a class that is already full. So if you weren't able to enroll into a class that you wanted, first email the instructor just in case they have an ad process that they want you to go through. But the recommended way to crash a class is just to attend that first day of class. So for online classes, email the instructor for a Zoom link so you can attend the first day of class. And then for face-to-face classes, you just need to show up, of course, with a mask. Just to emphasize, this is not rude. This is the best way to do it. You need to be persistent if you want to get into a full class. So yes, keep this in mind for this semester and upcoming semesters. That is how you would want to crash a class. So how to get connected. Again, like I said, SFSU email is super important. So try to link that to your personal account. Read our bio news. So that is our weekly newsletter. Again, if you haven't gotten emails from me recently, please email me and I'll make sure you are on our listserv and so you get the bio news. Talk to your colleagues in class. This can be your peers, TAs, student assistants, instructors, professors, whatever. Just get connected to people. Also, join clubs. We have many clubs. If you look on our website is a great resource for other things as well. But we list all programs and clubs and organizations. So a lot of things for you to get involved in. Also check out SF Build for funding opportunities. And we also have, it's a university-wide SFSU Gator Connect. It can hook you up with mentorship opportunities with alumni, sometimes mentorship or internships, if there are certain businesses that are also on Gator Connect that you can check out. And I'm going to pass it over to Megumi to talk a little bit about SEO.
Hey everyone, so our office is called Student Enrichment Opportunities, and I realized I didn't put the address, but it's Science Building, room 200. We will be in there in the office, so you can drop by generally between 10 to 5. You'll have to knock and then we will answer and let you in. One thing to think about is the Student Enrichment Opportunities Office houses a number of different fellowships, and a fellowship is somewhat different from a scholarship in the sense that it provides a monthly stipend. So you would get almost like a little bit of an annual salary with, allowing you some time to work in a research lab. Will help you find a research lab to work with and will provide professional development. So you can see here that we have the research opportunities, and these are a number of examples of students working in labs. The funding will sometimes cover tuition. It may cover monthly, just a monthly allowance as well as travel. And some of these students have been to conferences to present their work. We work closely with the clubs, and this fall we hope to have some outdoor social events with some of the clubs to get students to get to know people. And then it provides community and professional development. Will help you work on your resumes and CVs and figure out what it is you want to do. I've lost my slide. And so
Fiona, you're muted.
you can go to the next slide.
There we go.
Oh, that's not mine. Oh, well, okay. So the office is myself, I'm the director and also a professor in biology. Dr. Linda Chen is another professor who is also the associate director there. And then we have staff. So you should just come and introduce yourself. These staff really get to know the students. They'll give you all kinds of advice. You can put your name in if you just want to be kind of on our list of potential scholars, you know, or applicants for the future. And then our big application process starts in March. So keep an eye out for it. We also have a Genentech Foundation Scholars Program, which is one of the many grants that we have in our office. And the applications, as I said, will be in March, and that's beyond just the Genentech Foundation. That's for all the scholarships. And you don't have to know which one you want to apply to. If you apply and fill out the forms and give us all the information, we'll find the best scholarship or fellowship for you. We have also weekly office hours by Zoom for those of you who won't be on campus too regularly, and they will generally be, they have been on Tuesdays from 1 to 3, but just check our website, seo.sfsu.edu for information. I'm not sure if I have another slide then.
I think that's it.
Okay.
But maybe can I interject for just a second and say that, you know, some of you will think that, oh, scholarships, fellowships, maybe I don't have the right GPA, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not going to get picked. And so what I want to really convey to you is that these scholarships and fellowships are really for students in which we can see your potential, not so much what you've done, but what you can do. And we realize that some of you have traveled more miles to get here than others. And so we want to kind of acknowledge miles traveled, and I mean that very metaphorically, but just to believe in yourself and apply, even if you don't think that it might be for you, because you just never know. And these are really transformative and take students to completely different places where you never thought you could be.
Yeah, and to reiterate that we do not look at GPA as a primary consideration. We have had students with GPAs below 2 who are fantastic and who really just needed a little bit of that support so that they could get that excitement out of them. And so what you need to do is show us your excitement for science, show us your excitement for wanting to have some research experiences, and just come talk to us. Nobody, I would say there's no cutoff, no experience necessary. Come meet our staff, come meet me. I will also have my own personal office hours by Zoom. So you can really come and just ask, and you don't have to have a specific question. Just come and say hello. We really want to reach out. And it's amazing. My staff remember students who've graduated, you know, if they bothered to come to our office to visit. And I will stick around here today to answer any questions you might have about the programs.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Megumi. I will hand it over to Vance that is going to talk about some tips from former biology students.
Great. Well, so we've got our top 10 tips for success in biology students. And we want to let you know that these actually come from other students in the past. So, the number one thing that everyone says is a good thing to do, and I will agree to that as I'm an advisor, is to get a good advisor. You know, one of the things that I did when I was an undergrad is I was really afraid to go talk to my professors. And a friend of mine encouraged me to go talk to someone, a friend of mine in a study group, and I did, and it really changed my life. And I really think that you guys need to take advantage of that, especially you're transferring in from other places. You need to find an anchor. And that can be part of it, can be an advisor that's going to help you with your choices in terms of what courses you're going to take, what you could do with certain degrees. You know, we're here to help you, and we like what we do, and so we're here for you guys. So the other thing too is, of course, you're coming into a new place. Make friends with students in the classes with you. Make friends. It's true, you know, like if you study all by yourself and study really hard, you're going to do great. But if you study with others and learn from others around you, share ideas and resources, you're going to be way better off in the long term. And this, again, that part is not just coming from us, but it's coming from previous students. So it's really important. Another thing that I didn't do well when I was an undergraduate is I didn't ask for help very much. Don't be afraid to ask for resources, ask for help. You know, if you can't buy that textbook, ask, well, can you check one out? Well, yeah, we can. You know, we usually have textbooks that you can check out. Not very many, but we have some. But if you don't ask, no one's going to give it to you. So you need to ask. You know, really remember that this isn't a business. This is a university, and we're here to help you guys, to train, to educate you. So we're behind you, and so don't be shy. That's the next one. Reach out. You know, if you want something, there are places and people. You knock on doors. You know, you're not alone out there. We also, you know, this semester we're going to still have a lot of classes that are online. When you have those breakout rooms in your Zoom lectures, you know, take part of those. You know, really, you know, don't just pretend like nobody's there. Like, actually take part, because the more you get engaged, the better off you're going to be in terms of learning the material and understanding where you want to go with things. You want to go to the next slide, please, Brianna? And I'll just keep going because I know you guys are loving hearing what I have to say. But don't doubt yourself. Just because you may be worried about, gosh, I don't know what I'm doing or something. No, well, nobody knows what they're doing at some point in their life, and it's okay. So, you know, we're not, we're here for you guys. The other thing, though, is don't just float along, you know, ask questions, but also think about your classes, plan them out. By now you should have, you know, some relative idea of where you're going, what you want to do, what you want to study. And if you're not sure, ask a bunch of questions, you know, find the things that are interesting to you. And once you find those topics that are interesting to you, then you need to figure out, well, how do I get, if I want my degree to be in biology and be focused on a particular major within biology, well, what classes do I need to take for that? And how do I plan for that? Because not every class is offered every semester, and not every class can be taken without, a lot of classes have prerequisites that you have to sign up for. So you have to plan it out a little bit. The next one's a hard one. You know, try to be comfortable with the fact that failure is a normal thing. You can bounce back from it. It's true. You know, it's like none of us like failure. It's embarrassing. It's demoralizing. It happens to everyone. So don't worry about asking for help. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. So try to remember that. Don't let it get you down. Okay, especially in these times with what's happened with COVID and everything. Things are getting better. We're on the upswing. We are dealing with things. We're being careful, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. Of course, do not give up. Right? Keep trying. Be persistent. Brianna mentioned that earlier when you're trying to get into a class. Being persistent is not rude. Asking questions is not rude. It's okay to ask questions. We want you to ask questions. And if you're trying to get into a class, you can't just, you know, send one email and then never try again. Don't take no for an answer. Go back and please ask again. And well, what else can I do? What other course can I take? Just really don't give up, because you are your own best advocate, and you really have to try. And then finally, you know, in this department of biology, we are here because we love everything about biology. I mean, we are, you know, this is our job, but we chose this, okay, and we like what we do. So just remember, there's so much to learn from this. So we're here for you guys. We want you to get involved. We know that the recipe for success is to really get involved, and you know, this is your life. So get in there and ask questions, volunteer for things, knock on doors, and we're here to try to help you. And I'll end with that.
Great, thanks, Vance. All right, we'll get into how to find an advisor. One thing I want to mention, I forgot to put it in our resources, but it's a great resource. We have a peer mentoring program. I'm hoping that some of you guys are already registered as a mentee and are already reaching out to a mentor. But if not, and if you're interested in having a mentor, please reach out to me. I will send you more information. It's a great program. And then next year, you will have the opportunity to become a mentor. So it's a great program to get into. So again, please email me at the biology email if you would like more information. But moving on to how to find an advisor, super important. Everybody's been reaching out to me like, I need an advisor, I need to see an advisor. So you'll have two kind of different advising scenarios. So for general education, or university-wide requirements, you'll need to meet with an advisor in the College of Science and Engineering Student Success Center, so the CSSC. So their link is there. For biology advising, we have today a special advising day. Hours are located on our website under that link under advisors. And then we'll have fall advising hours, so regular hours starting on Monday. So hopefully some of you have already reached out to an advisor today, but you still have time if you want to reach out to someone after this orientation. Additional resources, again, there's a link to our advisors. We don't assign advisors, so feel free to reach out to any major advisor that you would like. There's a link to our biology website. All of our programs are listed there, our advising, research opportunities under certain faculty have research labs, a lot of great things around there. So please explore our website. Climate change, our climate change certificate is located on this website as well, our climate HQ and just other climate change efforts going along on campus. Again, information about biology concentrations, you can also find that on our website. If you're interested in grad programs, we also have those listed there. If you need help with financial aid or want to look at your options, regular financial aid packages, also scholarships, you can look at the financial aid website. SF State Dream Resource Center, if that applies to you, please look at them. They have great resources. And the SF State Counseling and Psychological Services. So good resources for you guys. Again, I'll send you this slideshow so you have access to all these links. And now we come to
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
cut you off, Brianna. I just saw one of the questions that someone had put in the chat, and I thought maybe I could try to answer it. Someone had asked, how do we know who a quote good advisor is, unquote? That's a great question. What is a good advisor? Well, I mean, what we mean by a good advisor is a couple of things. One, if you're interested in, let's say, microbiology or in zoology, obviously you want to try to find a major, a professor that works in those fields. They can help you in terms of not only understanding the future possibilities, but you also want someone who could advise you. We have advisors that are specific to the different undergraduate degrees in biology. So that's also a good advisor, because those advisors are the ones that, like if someone comes to me from, I work with the general biology undergraduate degree. So I'm most familiar with the classes that are available for that, but I'm also an ecologist and conservation biologist. So if somebody has interest with that, then I'm a good advisor for that as well. So that's what we mean. Like any advisor can help you with some really basic stuff. But if you want to know a little bit more specifically about a particular field of study, you should go to those, because we're scholars, we're experts in these things, and we can give you the best advice.
I would also say that you can, you don't have to go to just one advisor. You can go to numerous ones. So you can have one for certain discussions and another one for other discussions. And just because you've gone to one advisor doesn't mean you can't go to another one.
And I would pipe in too that advisors are there for coursework and career planning, but we're also there just to help you navigate complicated things in college. So, you know, we're not therapists or psychologists by any means, but we're kind of there if there's things going on, and we can point you towards different resources. And so, you know, like Megumi said, different advisors may be for different things. There may be one person that you want to talk to about your coursework, but another thing you want to talk to about, here's some other things going on in my life that I need some help with. And so find people you feel comfortable with and resonate with, and just talk to them. And it just doesn't have to be limited to coursework and scheduling. Okay. So I see one question in the Q&A. I would encourage folks to put questions in Q&A. We had a bunch in our last session for the first-time freshmen. You guys are a little more seasoned. You've kind of been in community college before, so you know the gig, but I'm sure you've got some quite a few questions about next steps. So the one question that's there is, I did an application for a club on their website. Should I be receiving an email from them when the semester starts? Most likely, but if not, then get in touch with us, and you know, Brianna can reach out to them directly to say, hey, have you checked your website lately? So we can nudge things along if you don't hear back. So yeah. So after the slides, we were able to meet with an advisor. Yeah, so Brianna, can you put the link for the advisors in the chat? But there should be hours for all the advisors today, and then their advisors starting on their hours starting on Monday. But all the advisors have some hours today, so you should be able to go straight from this into a most likely a Zoom meeting with another advisor. Here, I can pop it in.
Here, I got it.
You got it? Okay, as do I. Here you go. Got it. Okay. Any advisors available today for physiology? There should be. I don't know whether it's after this meeting or before, but there should be some. And yeah.
Yeah, and then also our regular advising hours will start on Monday too. And I think that list is all updated now. So if you want to meet with someone once the semester begins as well.
So here's one. I haven't gotten the Zoom links for all of my online classes. Do I have to wait for an email, or can I find them on iLearn? Vance, do you want to chew on that one?
Sorry, let's see. Well, you know, the Zoom links are sent out by individual professors for whoever's teaching that class. So they may not have sent it out yet because it's the first class. But if you're worried about it, through iLearn, you should be able to email your professor. So you could just email the professor and ask them, is there a link where I need to go to? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you'll certainly get something before class starts, for sure.
And for those of you not familiar with iLearn, it's the course management system, which has all the course materials for everything. If you haven't gone there yet, I just put the link in chat. It's kind of like Google Classroom, which many of you are familiar with, and there's also Canvas is another system. So iLearn is our system. It's pretty easy to use and intuitive. You'll find all your course information, your syllabi, Zoom links, assignments, all sorts of things on there, grades sometimes. And so if your iLearn site's not showing yet, that means your professor hasn't activated it. They'll probably activate it by Sunday night is my guess. Keep checking. If they still haven't done it, just email them, say, hey, I can't see the iLearn site, and give them a little poke.
I think we have a raised hand. So
okay.
E.T., let me know if I am pronouncing your name incorrectly. I'm going to allow you to talk if you want to ask your question.
So my question got answered, but thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So then there's one, is it possible to get into a closed online class if you got a code from a professor, even though the wait list is full? Anybody? I can answer it if you don't want to.
I will answer it. Yes, it is possible. So definitely reach out to the professor or the instructor If the wait list, the class is just full in general. If they allow you, it is at the instructor's discretion. But if they do provide you with the code, you can start to use it on the first day of instruction. And so that's when you'll be able to add the class.
Yeah. So any permit codes kind of override the class being full. Are we able to get any advisor even if they aren't in charge of the same concentration? Yeah, you can go to them. You know, they may or may not have as much expert advice about your particular concentration, but there may be other reasons that you want to talk to an advisor outside of your concentration, and that's okay.
I think that's all the questions we have.
Yeah.
We do have time.
Are any of the people in the audience or our participants or new students, are you interested in pre-health majors? Can you raise your virtual hand if you're interested in a pre-health major? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Lots.
Oh, there we go. So, yep. So let me say a couple of things about that. First of all, any major is perfectly appropriate for pre-health. Most of the majors will fulfill most of the requirements, but the way to make sure that you get your pre-health requirements, so you just have to go look at your schools. Each school is different and it makes it really hard. There's no one set of classes you take for pre-med. There's some kind of common ones, but there's some variation. So you really need to look at the schools you want to go to, whether it be nursing or PT or veterinary or medicine or pharmacy or dental, and make a spreadsheet. Here's my 10 schools. Here's all the courses they require. In the old majors, there were more units, but less flexible. So you might or might not be able to get the exact courses you need in the major, but you had to take all these units. In the new BS majors, there's less units. So maybe you decide to be a major in ecology and evolution and conservation biology, but you need these other prerequisites. There's space in your schedule because you still have to take units for the university requirements. And so you have the space to take these extra classes with the flexibility that we're offering. The second thing is for advising. We're working on a pre-health website, but we also run webinars kind of like this one, just for pre-health advising. We have some that are already recorded and are on our website, which have some amazing information on them. So you can go back and look at past ones, or we'll be holding a new webinar this fall for pre-health advising. So please, think about coming to those. We have experts from UCSF that come in and help out with that. The last thing is that there's a class that's kind of like intensive pre-health advising, and it's taught by Armand Karakosian, who is a licensed and practicing podiatrist. He often takes students in to see surgeries and things, so it's really cool. But he is running a pre-health professions class. The class number is SCI as in science 239. And if you want to get more help thinking about the different professions and talking to people who are in the different professions and thinking about how do you need to prepare, what is the application process, then this is a great class to take. Okay.
Can I make one comment about the advising? I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but even though you can go to an advisor who's not in charge of your concentration, I would say that I would not give advice on your concentration if I was not of that major. I would talk to you about anything else, but I wouldn't be confident that I could give you the right advice about the courses for your major. So still come visit us, but have two advisors then.
And so one person asked, if we're taking an in-person class, do we still have to show proof of vaccination even though we turned in their vaccination card to the website? So if it's all done, I think you're good to go. It means you'll be on the roster and anybody on the roster has been cleared. So I think that you're good. It never hurts to carry your card or a photo of your card with you, but I think you should be good. Does that jive with everybody else's understanding? If you're not all done, then there's other things, like if you only made it through the first vaccination or that sort of thing, then definitely bring what you have, and then they'll get you set up to make accommodations, which will probably involve regular COVID testing until you've got the second one.
Did you guys mention to the students, I was late, I'm sorry, that that they have to check in every day before they go to campus? You did. Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I think that's all
Any
we
other questions?
have. I think their hands up, but it might just be from
Oh, okay. Yeah.
about the pre-health.
Johnny, do you have a question? Johnny Barrios? We'll just let it be. Any more questions? Okay. Well, I think I would say in parting that I hope you've gotten the impression by now that we're here for you. I know that sometimes we seem older, scary, all sorts of things, like you can't ask a dumb question, but there's really no such thing as a dumb question. I mean that. And so one thing that you'll find that's maybe a little different about San Francisco State is that even though it's a large university, the biology department's a really pretty cozy place to be. And I hope that you'll think of it as your home. And you can call most of us by our first names. I think certainly those of us on this call are comfortable with first names. And it may be a little hard for you to get used to that, but we're really excited about having students here. And this is why we do what we do. And we're just thrilled to have you join us. And so I would say that now more than ever, we need biologists, and we need biologists from every background imaginable. We have an amazing health crisis. We have a climate change crisis. We have so many things that require biologists to take care of the biosphere and human health. And I hope that we can excite you and engage you and help you become leaders in these fields so that we can tackle these really important problems in the world. There's so much good that we can do, and I hope that you'll be able to connect what you learned here in our department back to your communities, and that I'd like to see us as just a massive wave of people working for good. And so I think you know, it's sometimes hard when you're working on abstract problems to kind of connect it to your real life. I hope that you're able to connect what you learn in this department to your life, and that it will be meaningful for you. And we're really excited to go on this journey with you. Anybody else have any final thoughts?
Come visit us. We'll be waiting.
Yeah, we'd like to see you. We miss students. It's been so long since we've seen real students. So yeah, come visit. And if you see us in the hallways, because now you have 4 faces you can recognize, so say, oh, hey, I saw you in orientation. Nice to see you. Or if you see us on other Zoom calls, oh, hey, I saw you at orientation. So just reach out and make those connections.
Yeah, bienvenidos todos. We're so excited to see people again.
Terrific. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll sign off unless there's more questions.